In true SB19 fashion, this documentary doesn't spoon feed the audience with an easy narrative. It doesn't tell you what to think, it actually shows you. And that restraint is both its greatest strength and its potential weakness. If you aren't already familiar with the SB19's DNA, or unwilling to meet the film halfway, you may miss the artistry embedded in its choices. What unfolds is less a highlight reel of celebrity success and more a deliberate deconstruction. Pagtatag strips away the glamour of being SB19 and instead brings us closer to the realities, vulnerabilities, and creative labor that define their journey. The gigantic name of SB19. The film opens with the headlines: nationwide media coverage, K pop idols dancing their choreography, high profile interviews. The message is clear: SB19 is not just popular, they are a cultural phenomenon in the Philippines. But the story doesn't stop at visibility. They are hailed as the country's best bet to conquer not only the West, but also the wider Asian music market, a mantle no other Filipino boy band has ever carried with such credibility and success. Their rise is often framed not simply as a personal success, but as a national breakthrough. A chance for original Filipino music, or OPM, to gain international footing in ways previously thought unattainable. The support from fans is deafening, both the Philippines and among overseas Filipinos who see in SB19 a cultural ambassador. No other boy band from the country has reached this level of recognition, let alone position themselves as global contenders. Yet, this grandeur, the name, the hype, the expectations, becomes the contrast against what follows: the hard, unpolished, and often unseen work behind the image. The sum of its parts. From media hype, the focus shifts to rehearsal. Here, the documentary dismantles the illusion of effortless performance. Fans usually encounter the polished end product: perfect choreography, styled wardrobe, dramatic lighting. But Pagtatag reveals the process: endless adjustments in sound, movement, and staging. We see them barefaced, sweating, uncertain. The takeaway is very clear. SB19's performances are not just the work of five individuals, but of a streamlined unit where the weakness of one reverberates across the whole. This is artistry as collective discipline, not individual flair. The pieces of a masterpiece. The film unpacks their songwriting. Gento was not the obvious carrier single, and I Want You almost didn't make it just because they were very unsure whether they can pull it off. Their choices aren't about chasing trends or indulging pure self expression. Instead, they weigh multiple dimensions: artistic voice, performance potential, and how each track expands their range. And this visibility and transparency is a rare occurrence, especially in the North American market. Western artists love the mysticism. Whether that's necessity or preference, we don't know. But they love building the idea that everything they put out is nothing more than the dictates of their own artistry. For SB19 to actually come out and say that they consider more than that, it's not just honest, it's also brave. This segment underlines SB19's identity as deliberate creators. Their music is less about hit making formulas and more about constructing works that balance ambition, accessibility, and authenticity. The biggest ever. SB19 has broken ground as arguably the most successful Filipino act to date, selling out arenas multiple nights in a row, all without backing of a major conglomerate. The documentary doesn't just highlight this achievement, it contextualizes it. We see how they bring shows to overlooked provinces, making inclusivity part of their mission. And in these places, the glamour isn't just spectacle, it's actually a necessity. For communities that rarely see artists of this scale, a performance staged with grandeur can ignite curiosity, build pride, and spark interest in the local music scene itself. The production team magnifies their presence. Wardrobe, assistants, crew, dancers, all essential to building that larger than life picture. Yet the film makes clear the spectacle is not their end goal. It is the byproduct of relentless labor, a tool to extend reach and deepen cultural impact beyond metropolitan borders. The bigger world. When the narrative shifts to their world tour, scale flips. From tens of thousands at home to mere hundreds abroad, SB19 confronts what it means to start over. Here, the documentary emphasizes resilience. For most acts, a world tour is some sort of a crowning glory, proof of how they've come so far. Back in the Philippines, hearing that SB19 was embarking on an even bigger world tour this time sounded both thrilling and intimidating, evidence of their rapid ascent. Yet in North America, the perception is starkly different. Here, they are not cultural giants, but one of the thousands of acts trying to break through. So it becomes more of a challenge. How are they going to differentiate themselves? In this context, the grandeur of their name at home collides with the reality of being virtually unknown abroad. As Josh put it in the interview, they were going to a foreign land to try and make a mark. This becomes the bridge of the documentary, a reminder that global recognition is not inherited, but fought for anew in every market. Stripped of dancers, assistants, and the safety net of home, they stand as five artists, armed only with their craft. The humility of this reset is powerful. It reframes success as something that must be continuously earned. Alone on stage and backstage, the difference is stark. In the Philippines, teams caution every step. Abroad, they dress themselves, manage their own transitions, and recalibrate to smaller, more skeptical audiences. They have foreign faces in front of them, people who don't even know their songs. When you're used to thousands of people singing back your song as you do, the disorientation of being reduced from headliners to one among many is palpable. Yet it is also instructive. It strips them to essentials: performance, stamina, and will. When bodies give in, touring comes at a cost, and the documentary does not shy away from showing it. Consecutive to our performances, constant travel, and the stress of sustaining high energy night after night. For a smaller audience, many of them only know one or two of your songs. All of those things gradually wear down even the most disciplined bodies. Exhaustion seeps in, voices strain, and recovery windows shorten. What the film makes clear is that stamina is as much a part of artistry as talent. Physical well being becomes inseparable from performance quality, and the body becomes an instrument under duress. Unlike rehearsals or studio work, live tour demand consistency under pressure. There is no pause button, no room for faltering, no take twos, and certainly no editing. The show must go on is not framed as bravado, but a sober reality. It illustrates the fine line between artistic dedication and physical sacrifice. Viewers are reminded that behind the spectacle lies a constant negotiation with human limits, where pushing past exhaustion is both a badge of honor and a looming risk. Incomplete victory. Just as SB19 attempts to build on their global momentum, the label conflicts halts their trajectory. Shows are canceled, revenue stall, and morale takes a bow. Financially, concert insurance may cushion some losses, but no policy compensates for the erosion of momentum, the disruption of creative plans, or the damage to trust between artist and audience. This segment highlights the precarious nature of artistic careers. Success is never secured by talent and hard work alone. It is equally vulnerable to the structures around it: contracts, management disputes, and the business realities of the music industry. The irony is striking. Even as SB19 proves their worth on stage, external factors threaten to undercut their progress. It threatens their very right to use their own name, the name they have been trying to build all of these years. The film uses this moment not to dramatize defeat, but to underscore a truth rarely acknowledged in idol narratives: that artistry is sustained not just by creativity and resilience, but also by systems stable enough to let that artistry thrive. The beginning of SB19. Most documentaries build towards triumph. Pagtatag does the opposite. It begins with SB19 at their peak, celebrated, polished, commanding, and then strips away layers until only the core remains. By the end, what's left are not idols wrapped in glamour, but five young men bound by a creed: to create, to perform, and to push Filipino music forward at home and abroad. This ultimately is the point. Pagtatag is not meant to glorify SB19, but to understand them, their artistry, their struggles, their deliberate choices, and their resilience. It is a reminder that behind the headlines and the fandom is a story of five individuals constantly beginning again, always in service of a larger mission. I think if there is any critical thing that 18s should contribute or do, is to make sure that the substantial part of their art, of their music, the essence and the messages that they communicate, and the brilliance of their aesthetics, those things should be concretized. They should be verbalized. Because if the fans don't start making that concrete, media won't, because they're so fixated on just calling them a boy band. Other fans are too snobbish to even acknowledge just how superior their art is. And I think it's up to the fans, it's up to 18s to actually make sure that that comes up to the surface, that people will have a very concrete idea how SB19 is actually changing the Philippine music landscape. This video, this documentary has been nothing short of enlightening for a lot of people, because it's gritty. It actually shows you just not just the control that they have over their creatives. I think at this point that should be clear, but also the depth by which they go to make sure that they're offering something superior, not just in message but also in form. I would highly recommend it to everybody, those who haven't watched it. And if you're watching this video, please watch it, because it's such a great piece of art, and also such a great piece of documentary, a great documentary. All right, I hope you like that. I hope that you enjoy that. If you have anything to add, uh, anything to input, any comments, just leave them in the comment section below. You can say whatever it is that you want to say, just please do so respectfully. Also, consider donating. There is a QR code on your screen. We are launching more projects, expanding the channel. And the first is a website, an online magazine, Asian Entertainment and Culture. And I am trying my best to actually load a lot of articles and a lot of the things that we've done in the past in there. So it's a soft launch right now. I'd appreciate any kind of comment, and also please donate. Consider donating. Also follow me on X, on IG, but more importantly on Patreon, and also our YouTube membership is open. That's where the discussions are actually happening. If you want to participate and actually discuss or get recommendations on TV shows and movies, or just mess around, it's a great community. Okay, so like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification button, so because we do upload videos every day. So I hope that you won't miss any of it. And of course, share it to your friends, to your family members, put a link to your social media, forward it to your chat applications, all of those good stuff. That's going to help us get discovered and recommended more by the algorithm. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And see you next time.